Covering all of the Flint Bay region, this is Fox 66 Mornings.
Charging through, Hurricane Maria makes her presence known in the Caribbean. We're tracking where she's been and where she's headed.
A scary situation. Central Michigan University students a bit relieved this morning after police find a knife-carrying classmate. Why police say that student had a weapon.
And I spent some time in the pediatric oncology unit here at Hurley to talk about childhood cancer. It's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and I have that story coming up in about 10 minutes.
7 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Woolfolk.
And I am Leslie Toldo. Welcome aboard. We have the afterglow of a Lions victory.
Yes, 24-10 over the Giants, 2-0. Leading the NFC Central Division right now, NFC North Division. It hasn't been the NFC Central in a long time. NFC North Division, it feels good.
Makes you almost giddy, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wonderful.
And I'm giddy about the weather forecast as well, because it says we will flirt with a 9 in the temperature reading on Friday.
Oh, yeah. The first day of fall. Here's what we've got actually outside your window at the moment. Before we even heat up that far, we're going to deal with some cooler air and then, of course, the shower activity that we have today. Here is a look at what's going on right now. We've got the shower activity trying to move on in for later. We also have the cloud cover trying to build on in as well. 50s across the region, and we've got your bus stop forecast here also going through the area. Cloud cover all the way into the afternoon. We've got at least a little bit of that rainfall activity later, 70s as well, trying to move on in through that afternoon hour. Now at the bus stop, it's going to be at least a little bit on that cool side until we get to that afternoon. Here is where Hurricane Maria is right now, continuing to churn through the Caribbean there. You can see a very defined eye. I mean, that's a perfect circle there. A Category 5 at the moment, continuing to head up to the northwest, where it will stay as a 5 or a 4 before it ends up hitting the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico going into tonight and into tomorrow morning. So obviously a very nasty situation that we have to watch for down there before we end up getting into the later portions of today. Now, the video that we've got is going to be coming out of the areas of Guadalupe that has been absolutely hit overnight.
Yeah, this is video as Hurricane Maria whips through the island of Guadalupe. Government says to stay indoors, stay put until it passes.
Yeah, and you can just really see, I mean, the rain is coming in sideways here. This is so strong. And we often see that when hurricanes hit islands.
And of course, this is Dominica.
Or land, period.
And these are all, this is on our Banjo app that we use. And so these are all real posts from right there. From
social media. People are using the hashtag Hurricane Maria, hashtag Portsmouth Dominica, hashtag hurricane. All of these hashtags are producing these video clips that people are posting, and most of these were posted just before the storm really made its official landfall, because once it barreled through, power was knocked out. So they're having communication issues there on Dominica.
Well, you know how your phone gets even when there's enough severe thunderstorm activity. Imagine this. This is bad enough. I can't imagine being there. And then the aftermath, when the light of day reveals that's going to be pretty amazing. So yeah, we have quite a few different views of what people are seeing here in terms of Maria. And we're definitely going to update you, let you know when any changes come our way. Obviously, Ahmed tracking this and keeping a very close eye on Maria's progress.
Well, back here at home, the Isabella County Sheriff's Office is investigating a stabbing that left one man with serious injuries. Police say a 23-year-old Durand man has a knife wound to the abdomen, and witnesses tell investigators that stabbing happened after an argument between the victim and another man outside a party that was happening in Union Township. Now, both men apparently took off running. Police found the victim bleeding behind a building. Right now, they're still looking for the stabber. Police describe him as being in his early to mid-20s, short, heavy set, last seen wearing a dark blue button-up shirt. Anyone with information that might help investigators should contact the Isabella County Sheriff's Department.
Well, we have an update to the Central Michigan University knife threat story we told you about yesterday. Now, this morning, an 18-year-old CMU freshman is in jail, accused of pulling a knife on his roommate during an argument on Sunday night. Officers picked him up not far from his Wheeler Hall dorm room. CMU junior Nicole Navarro says she's glad police got him.
I'm fine because they got the guy, so I'm okay. I feel bad for his roommate, for sure.
Officers found the individual about 1.5 miles south of campus along the railroad grade in a wooded area.
Police say they are likely to file multiple charges against the still unidentified student.
We have a traffic alert to pass along to you this morning in Genesee County. Road crews are paving Curtis and Lewis drives south of Miller Road. That's in Flint Township. They are working from 7 to 7 today and tomorrow, so you should plan accordingly. If you normally drive Curtis or Lewis, you will need to use other routes.
Also in Genesee County, crews are micro-surfacing 3 areas. In Davison Township, they're working on Davison Road from Vassar to Irish. In Flint Township, Hemphill Road from Van Slyke to Fenton Roads. And then in Grand Blanc Township, Hill Road from Center to Georgetown Street. And this work is going to go on through Friday, and it's going to be from 7 to 7 each day in each location. Ahmed, road construction, potholes, all things we can still look forward to, aren't they?
It's like summer's holding on. All right, here's what we got going on your Storm Ready forecast as we head out the door. It'll sure going to feel like it this week. But sunrise today, 7:19. We're heading in that direction. Highs today in the low 70s. 60s slowly building through the morning. Cloud cover there. That's where we're supposed to be for the season. Today's a normal day, but by the end of the week, not so much. 1 to 2 feet for the wave heights on the bay and the lake, 5 to 10, 6 to 12 knots for our wind speeds out of the east-northeast. So we do have enough of a breeze to get you going. Not as nasty with the wave heights, which I will absolutely take. Now, out on the golf course today, the morning and the midday are the best times to try and get out and get around in. By the time we get to the afternoon, scattered shower chances start to move on through, mainly focused in the southern counties, the Thumb and the Tri-Cities. Not much further north than that, and you can see mainly in the later portion of the day as well, right on top of afternoon and evening football practice.
Something tells me Ahmed is probably a granola fan. You know, if you're looking for a healthy snack, granola probably looks pretty good, but is it actually good for you? I'll let you know next. In Healthy You, we'll be right back at 7:07.
By Hurley Medical Center.
We're back now at 7:10. When we think about cancer, we often forget the disease's smallest victims, children. But we can't do that this month. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
And Courtney Wheaton is live this morning from Hurley Medical Center, where she's finding out what the cancer journey is like for children and their families.
Well, one of the questions I asked doctors here at Hurley, if it was any different for kids in Michigan, were those rates higher or lower? And they said they're pretty even across the state, and that goes for gender and socioeconomic levels as well. Now, these are some facts that we did learn, however. We learned that the average onset age for childhood cancer is 6 years old. It's very curable with 85 to 90% of success rates, thanks to improvements in technology. Now, however, patients are at risk for late effects complications that can arise as adults, including a second bout with the disease. Children are more susceptible to different types of cancer than adults, including certain types of leukemia. Due to their genetic makeup, children who have Down syndrome are 10 to 20% more likely to have childhood cancer. Now, we spoke to the director of the pediatric oncology unit here at Hurley, and she shared more about why awareness is so important.
It is important for us to be aware of the common kinds of cancer we see in children, where they can receive treatment, and also for people to know that childhood cancer is very curable. There are a lot of researches that have gone on over the years that have improved the survival of childhood cancer.
Now, Hurley Hospital is one of 4 Children's Miracle Network hospitals in the state. They are also a part of the Children's Oncology Group, and I'll have more on that coming up in the next half hour. For now, live in Flint, I'm Courtney Wheaton, Fox 66 News.
All right, time for a look at your Storm Ready forecast. Coming up, we're going to be tracking our weather here at home, where it starts to feel kind of like summer all over again. And also Hurricane Maria down in the Caribbean. We'll take a look coming up.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. It's 7:15, and you know, one thing that's easy to show up in your diet is granola. You can eat it in cereal or as a snack bar, but is the crunchy treat really healthy? Granola contains healthy ingredients like oats, nuts, and fruit, giving you important nutrients like protein, iron, and fiber. But granola is calorie dense. Some contains a little more than 300 calories per cup. But when you add things like sugars, oils, even chocolate, granola can pack 600 calories a cup. If you're watching sugars, carbs, or calories, limit granola, especially since it can be difficult to determine how much fat and sugar is naturally present in the ingredients. Dietitians recommend about 1/4 cup as a good guideline. Try it as a topping to yogurt or fruit, or mix it into a bowl of lower calorie cereal, giving you a bigger bowl without going into calorie overload. You can also make your own granola. Doesn't that sound fun? You can do it. It's pretty easy. Just make sure you have your measuring cup handy, because even healthy, good for you granola can still be high in calories and fat. Well, looking at local health headlines this morning, Bay City commissioners have voted to allow medical marijuana facilities. The 5-3 vote happened last night. This makes it possible for businesses to open in the future as long as they follow Michigan's marijuana law. Now, the commissioners have to come up with laws and regulations and decide where and when medical marijuana dispensaries could open. Right now, it's not really clear how long this whole process is going to take. Meanwhile, Pinconning Township may add more medical marijuana licenses. Right now, there are 55 Class C grower license applications on file. They cost $5,000 each. If approved, each license would allow 1,500 plants. The township also plans to have 4 major distribution warehouses along Pinconning Road near I-75. To keep the plants, township officials and some residents say this will have a huge financial impact on the community.
It's going to change the community, hopefully in a good way. Financially, it will. It's a small town, but I live just 1.5 miles from this facility, and wondering about the traffic and whatever other ramifications.
Now, the township will send the applications to the state for approval, and the state will start license issuing on December 15th. The township doesn't expect to see any facilities until at least early next year. And Ahmed, fall and
well, here's a look at your storm ready forecast. As we jump on into the day, we're watching for highs to eventually start to try and climb again towards that 70 mark. But here's what we have outside the window in the Caribbean. Still a strong, nasty storm moving on through just past the Leeward Islands. Dominica, Guadeloupe, all impacted overnight. Category 5 Hurricane Maria still making a beeline right at the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. As a 4 or a 5, something that Puerto Rico hasn't actually been hit directly by since the late 1920s or the early 30s. So it's been a while. Now back here at home, a little humid. We start to ramp up the muggy conditions by the end of the week. 70s, low 70s on the way by the time we get into the evening today. Around 73 or so for the southern counties, thanks to the cooler, rain-cooled air that we have to keep an eye out for. Now the thumb warming up to just about 71 to 72. Cloud cover there is going to hold on as well. We could get an isolated little shower later on. Tri-Cities, western counties, a high around that 72 to 73 mark as well. You're the northernmost extent for the rain. It really doesn't go much further north than northern Bay County or northern Midland County, but we may see a brief sprinkle or two in Gladwin and Clare counties, but that's it. That's the absolute northernmost max. Here's the deal. When we look at Storm Ready Futurecast, it's been a little more robust on rainfall than what it really is. It's not that heavy. When it moves on through later on today, afternoon focus, you can see it right there, thumb, Tri-Cities, southern counties, that's about it. Again, not that A, widespread, or B, that heavy. What we do get from it, of course, is just enough to be able to wet the ground. We'll get past that. We'll get into the overnight with some cloud cover, and then tomorrow we start to break apart the clouds. After about noon, we will get sunshine. Here, the computers are trying to throw another shower or two into the thumb with some cloud cover holding on. I think yes to the clouds, maybe a sprinkle, but that's it. Again, too robust on the amount of moisture that we've got. This is one of those fights between meteorologists versus computer. Now notice The wave off to the west, that's going to try and bring a shower or two in on early Thursday morning. Yes, we will have very early Thursday morning a chance at a shower and some clouds, but the rest of the day is bright and sunny. The 80s there build once more, and they hold all the way through into the weekend. 86 for your first day of fall. Bright and sunny all the way through, and by Monday, that's when we have the cloud cover coming back. It feels like summer's holding instead of, heading into our next season.
The only undefeated 2-0 team in the NFC North? How sweet it is. Don't want to miss these highlights. The Lions shine in prime time. Highlights from Monday Night Football up next.
And it's a touchdown for Marvin Jones.
Game with Fox 66 Sports.
How long have we sat here as Lions fans and hoped and maybe prayed a little bit that Detroit would get some respect across the NFL? Well, winning in primetime makes quite the statement, and Matt Stafford and his Lions did just that. Lions facing Eli Manning, who finally got back OBJ, his favorite target. He was out a month with an injury. Stafford and his offense waste no time getting started. I love that connection so far this year. That's Matt Stafford, 27 yards to Marvin Jones Jr. A beautiful play. Detroit would notch another touchdown by halftime. It's Stafford with a short one to Eric Ebron. Lions up 14-7. Check out this incredible boot by Prater. A 56-yard field goal. Barely gets in the most dramatic fashion ever. That is good for a 17-10 lead. Rookie Jamal Agnew making history right here with the Lions' 5th longest punt return ever. Look at those moves. That is good. He would go 88 yards all the way to the house. The Lions pull it off 24-10 over the Giants. Now, aside from Matt Stafford, Detroit's defense looks stellar again. They held the Giants to only 1 touchdown. Manning was sacked 5 times. Impressive stat right here. The Giants were contained to only 62 rushing yards total. Just like that, the Lions are the only undefeated team in the NFC North. The Tigers are also back in action tonight against Oakland. That and much more on Fox 66 News at 10 o'clock with Tom.
All right, thanks, Gina. Unemployed. A Mid-Michigan fire chief gets the boot. Hear from one resident who doesn't like the decision. It is moving up on 7:25. Quick look outside this morning by way of the Fox 66 Skynet cam. That's downtown Mount Pleasant we're looking at. Sun tried to poke through, just slightly through the cloud cover. Ahmed has your full forecast, and we've got more news straight ahead. Stay with us. Now, the Isabella County Sheriff's Office investigating a stabbing that left one man with serious injuries. Police say a 23-year-old Durand man has a knife wound to his abdomen. Witnesses tell investigators the stabbing happened after an argument between the victim and another man. Happened outside a party in Union Township. Now, both men apparently took off running. Police found the victim bleeding behind a building. Right now, they're still looking for the stabber. Police describe him as being in his early to mid-20s, short and heavy set, last seen wearing a dark blue button-up shirt. Anyone with information that might help should contact the Isabella County Sheriff's Department. We have an update now to the Central Michigan University knife threat story we told you about yesterday. This morning, an 18-year-old CMU freshman is in jail. He's accused of pulling a knife on his roommate during an argument Sunday night. Officers picked him up not far from Wheeler Hall. That's where the whole thing went down. Police say they are likely to file several charges against the unidentified student. Also in Genesee County, crews are micro-surfacing 3 areas all week long, in fact. Davison Township, they're working on Davison Road from Vassar to Irish. In Flint Township, it's Hemphill Road from Vanslyke to Fenton Roads. And in Grand Blanc Township, Hill Road from Center to Georgetown Street. This work will go on through Friday from 7 to 7 in each location. All right, here's Ahmed. All right, here's where we have your storm-ready forecast. Highs today in Bay City only warming up into the low 70s. We should hit about 73 by 3 to 4 and then cool rapidly behind it. An isolated shower possible, but not a huge issue in the Bay City area. Instead, we start to look forward to clearing. We get a little bit of rain on Thursday, very early morning before we clear up completely. Watching for the first day of fall to be one of the warmest days this week.